We are the children of the stars. This universe belongs to us. This is where we live in. Not really. We actually live here. This is the planet called Earth, and we have a story to share. Long ago, there was a civilization on this planet. Totally great people, did great many things, built awesome monuments. They were known as the Mayans. Mayans excelled at agriculture, pottery, hieroglyph writing, calendar making, and mathematics, and left behind an astonishing amount of impressive architecture and symbolic art form. And they also. Wait, what am I talking about? Actually, I wanted to talk about the Easter Island. I got confused. So, this was a great civilization, they built so many great things. Easter Island is famous for its extant monumental structures, called moai, created by the early Rapa Nui people. In 1995, UNESCO named Easter Island a World Heritage Site, with much of the island protected within Rapa Nui National Park. Sorry, I messed up again. I wanted to talk about the Khmer Emperor, which came from Cambodia. No, the Olmec civilization from Mexico, or maybe Cahokia, which originated in United States. No, Moshe civilization from Peru. No, Clovis culture, or what the hell? It doesn't matter what civilization we talk about, because they all share the same fate. They're all extinct. Experts speculate that happened because all of them overhunted, compromised their own food supply, practiced ill-advised deforestation, and misused their natural resources. You get the idea, right? This practice is called unsustainable development. Unsustainable development occurs when present progress is at the expense of future generations. For example, irresponsible planning and environmental degradation through exploitation of resources generates waste and pollution that damages ecosystems. Such practices are not sustainable in the long term. This is the same practice civilizations repeated again and again. Nobody learned from the past. Nobody. Not even us. Like those civilizations, we are using up the resources without thinking about the consequences. We are creating lakes full of poison instead of water. We are destroying green islands in pursuit of technological advancements, endangering our ecosystem in order to maximize profit. Although there is one difference between those civilizations and ours. Nobody before us misused the natural resources in a global scale. That's why, while those civilizations died, people of those civilizations moved on to other parts of this planet that were still pristine. They could still live, because our vast planet made room for them. We won't have that option, because we don't have another planet to move on to. And let's face it, even if we did, even if all the 9 planets and all their satellites were habitable, we don't have the technology to get our people there. So long story short, for now, we only got one shot at this vast universe. And so far, we are performing remarkably badly at it. This was our story till today. It may have a happy ending, it may not. And how do we get a happy ending? We have to include our environment in our businesses. We have to practice our livelihood in a more responsible way. Unsurprisingly, there is a fancy name for that. It's called sustainable development. What exactly is sustainable development? The universally known definition of sustainable development says it is a development that meets the needs of present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. But is this definition complete? It does not specify how much the present generation shall utilize natural resources without compromising the abilities of future generation. If we keep on our current track, one day or other, the resources will definitely become extinct, no matter how stringently we use them. So it does not talk about switching to renewable resources and completely eliminating our dependency on non-renewable resources. So if we really want to develop and evolve in a sustainable way, we need to divert from our monotonous ways and solve our problems. And there are problems. We are creating them on a regular basis. Our water, our forests, our energy sources all are at risk now. Our rivers are drying up. Our glaciers are contracting and groundwater level is going down. Most of the present water demand is fulfilled through rivers and groundwater. But rivers are getting more and more polluted every day. So people are shifting to groundwater. For example, some cities in India, like Gurgaon, are completely dependent on groundwater. They are consuming groundwater at a rapid pace. And that's so groundwater from the nearby rural areas. If we continue to use groundwater at this pace, that day is not far when we will not have any water beneath our cities and villages. There is an urgency of shifting our ways. There is no need of out-of-the-box thinking to improve our ways. We simply need to put our lives into back gears and go back to the history of mankind. And we need to learn from our ancestors and figure out a few novel ways to deal with these problems. For example, water harvesting system in Indus Valley civilization is a strong model of sustainable development. Though they had enough of water available in nature, they still went for conserving it. There are many other ancient water harvesting structures in India like step well, bamboo pipes, water tanks in various parts of India. If people deprive of any technology were able to build them, then it won't be a difficult task to build them within our cities and villages today. Such structures would help in fulfilling the water requirement of the houses, offices and industries to some extent. And it would also reduce the consumption of groundwater. Harvesting water in a domestic scale will solve a huge portion of the problem. Oh, there's another big issue troubling us. The waste disposal issue. But did you know that waste can be turned into electricity? If you are surprised, don't be. General Electric in USA has tabled a great illustration of this. They dump waste on a piece of land, fill it with dirt, and then again dump waste, extract gas from the waste through pipes, and convert it into electricity. General Electric uses this electricity in their factory as well as supplies it to 3,000 to 3,500 households. Isn't that lucrative? Oh, there are other ways of managing wastes as well. We could use Bartic agents to deal with them or use plasma gasification. We could try minimizing it if not anything else, because landfills, sure as hell, won't work forever. Imagine what will happen if all the industries start doing all this. Imagine if all the industries start taking our environment seriously. Waste disposal will be viewed from a totally different lens. Waste management sites will not be a trouble for neighboring areas, but will be seen as a powerhouse for the cities. To solve energy problem, we could also bring hydro energy to our cities and villages. Though we lack proper technology to extract sufficient energy from the oceans, it has enough potential to fulfill the complete electricity demand of the globe. Once we are technologically equipped, we will be able to bring ocean energy to our modern cities. And that amount of energy will be sufficient to power our companies. We don't need to worry about our houses, because they will be off the grid and autonomous. Like the off-grid retreat on a coastal island in Maine, designed and built by Alex Porter for his father. The project features a shade roof and is wrapped in a distinctive blue-grey corrugated skin. Dwell recently profiled the home, which is the only solar-powered retreat on the isolated island. Its sustainable power sources actually makes life a lot more leisurely, as the family does not need to scalp in fuel to run a noisy generator. They didn't give anything up, as they have all the conveniences of a regular home, but with a view you don't get in an everyday residence. While none of the systems are groundbreaking, the design is a transparent example of how well off-grid living can work and how we can live in nature without polluting it. Imagine a world where the city is blindingly green, because all the skyscrapers are covered with trees. Imagine a world where the homes are self-sufficient, Imagine a world where carbon emission is the least of our problems. Water harvesting tanks, self sufficient houses and offices, electricity producing waste disposal sites, and industries employing ocean energy. We can then call it sustainable evolution. Evolution without leaving our environment behind. We will actually be living with the nature. Doesn't that sound beautiful? It can all come alive from this video to our neighborhood if we all join our hands to change our ways and work for modern evolution with ecology. It all depends on us. We depend on us. The planet depends on us. So, can we make it a story where we are the heroes? We can, right?